Thanks for joining us for another episode of Can You Reach That?
Can you reach that?
My good brother Tango.
Mr. Coop.
How you doing today?
Man, I can't complain today.
Good to hear.
Hungry,
Oh.
but that's common for me.
You stay hungry?
Stay hungry. And you don't get this big by not eating, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to work it off a little bit.
No, I get that. Burn a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to be this big.
It does. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work to maintain. So,
Speaking of food.
I don't like
Nah.
seafood. I don't like seafood. You know that, right? I'm not a seafood fan.
Right. At all?
On very rare occasions will you catch me eating seafood. It's just definitely not a go-to. It's not my favorite. I'm more of a chicken, turkey,
land dwellers,
steak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you like your food to breathe air.
But I was thinking about crabs. And
something I should know.
Crabs in the ocean.
Nothing. My bad. Different.
Nothing itching.
Different
nothing
crabs.
Itching. No
crabs.
itches. No itches.
Got it.
But crabs in the ocean.
Right.
Do you think that they're crawling around the ground and in their minds, fish are flying?
Because the fish Yo, to a crab.
Are fish flying?
Are fish flying?
Are they like, dang, there's a lot of fish out here flying today? Like, are those the birds of the sea?
That is funny. They do call chicken the tuna. I mean, they do call tuna the chicken of the sea.
But chickens don't fly, so that'd be weird.
That's true too. Yeah, do fish fly?
Like crabs, lobsters, they just down there like
on the surface of the ocean, looking up
and seeing all the
mad that all the fish are flying
they're
around.
all flying.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's the same concept. Because I mean, the air and the water are basically the same thing. They just have different consistencies. They're both composed of moisture.
Right.
Huh. Okay.
Things that make you say,
Yeah, that's a crazy one. That's crazy. To a crab, the fish fly. Nah, totally. They must be so mad at the fish.
What do y'all think?
Can you reach that? You see that? Let's talk about it. Be that. Believe that. Let the people know that we see that and what they want to know. Can you reach that? Can you reach that?
And now your host, Tango and Coop.
Can you reach that? Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
And the trippy part is, man, imagine like a puffer fish.
Right.
Like the crabs are really like, dang, how does that dude get to fly?
Right.
The big old puffer fish.
It's like the version of a hot air balloon.
So he's not puffing. He's just fluffy.
He's just fluffy.
So
he's a fluffy fish.
So speaking of fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias and Joe Coy, man, did you see their announcement?
No, I didn't.
March next year, man, they're going to do SoFi.
Together?
Okay. I'll be showing SoFi. And if they sell out, they'll shatter the record for stand-up show venue audience attendance.
Really?
Yeah, because I think 70,000. So, but that's a heck of a comedy show. I mean, they both have great individual track records.
Yeah. They both have a great fight. Yeah, Joe Coy is hilarious.
So
Fluffy's hilarious too.
News has it that they're gonna have some special guests. You know, it's gonna be a good show. They'll have some openers and things like that. They're gonna have some guests, and they joked around saying that they'd likely interrupt each other's sets because they do that anyways.
Yeah.
Like whenever Fluffy's in town doing a set and Joe's around, Joe will crash the show. And vice versa. So they've been friends.
I feel like this is an opportunity to do like a international Kings of Comedy kind of thing.
The international Kings of Comedy.
Because we had the Kings of Comedy. They did the Latin Kings of Comedy.
Right.
We can do a mashup of, we got Joe
There was
Coy.
the Kims of Comedy.
I don't remember that one.
The Kims of Comedy. Yeah, it was all Asian. It was old boy from I'm brain farting right now, but it was dude from Hangover.
The doctor, the dentist. Kim, yeah.
Kim Jong. Yeah. Yeah, it was a bunch. Yeah, so it was yeah. They called it the Kims of comedy though,
That's funny.
not the Kings of comedy.
The Kims of comedy. Yeah, this is that's pretty big for them to come together. I
So
wonder who else they'll have out there.
that's what I'm wondering at this
Yeah.
point. Like, who's gonna come with them? Because I mean, that's a hell of a headlining show to begin with.
Right.
The two of them is just
Yeah. Imagine Kevin Hart
they
being
already
there.
sell out. I mean, they sell out venues as it is. I mean, Joe Coy did the Forum,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's crazy. SoFi, that's a big.
I haven't even been yet. I haven't been to the
You haven't
stadium
been
yet.
oh, you haven't been in there?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been to a couple of football games, Rams games, and stuff like that. So,
Everybody else has been.
so you don't like sports.
Nobody wants to take me.
The one time you're gonna go is gonna be for the
It's gonna
comedy
be
show.
for the comedy show. Yeah. Nah, there's nothing been going on there that I've wanted to go to yet.
Yeah,
Everything happens at the Forum.
I went, had to watch my Niners run one in there, so went to a Niners game, Niners and Rams game, so that was pretty dope.
Bang bang Niner gang.
Couple times, but
Yeah. No, that's cool. That'll be dope to see. Joe Coy and Iglesias together. Like, yeah, that's because I mean similar styles of comedy, but also different.
right, yeah, they're, I mean, yeah,
Because they're both storytellers.
complimentary to each
Yeah,
other,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I-
Gabriel is more. He does more like impressions and sound effects.
right,
Yeah.
right, the voices and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joe Coy, I mean, he does a little bit, but he does,
He does the Filipino accents.
but he does a lot of pop culture references, things like that,
Yeah.
so, but definitely complimentary. I mean, I've enjoyed shows from both of them. I mean, I saw Joe Coy at the Improv in Brea a while back. It was a hilarious show.
Yeah.
So I've never seen Fluffy live. I've wanted to, but I've never seen him live. So might have to check this one out.
I think I've only seen two comedians live: Kevin Hart and Joey Diaz.
Okay.
And Joey Diaz was a small little set, underground comic venue type of thing.
Yeah.
And I got to see Kevin Hart at the Long Beach Convention Center.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
I think one of the biggest ones I went to was Chris Rock, Bigger and Blacker.
Really?
Yeah, I did go to.
That must have been crazy.
Did get to see that live back in the day.
That must have been wild.
That was super dope.
I had the CD,
Okay.
the Bigger and Blacker CD.
Yeah.
I had it. I'll just listen to that over and over.
Yeah.
But to see him live would have been crazy.
Yeah, that was the only time I saw Chris Rock live, but it was a fantastic show. I mean, it's just, the show itself. I don't know. It's something about watching it. When you watch it on video, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's something about being there live, man.
Oh,
Just
no,
the vibe,
it's
the
the energy.
venue, the energy.
It's the energy, like you
Yeah.
feed off of that,
Indeed.
You get that connection with other people who are sharing that same energy.
The one person I'd love to see live is Chappelle, man. I'd love to go to a Chappelle.
Chappelle would be great to see live.
So he's just.
I want to see him all. I would like to see him, and I know that would probably cost buku bucks to get everybody together, but
Yeah.
like a comedy convention, you got all these concerts and stuff where you can see a bunch of different artists. Like you have a comedy set like that,
Yeah.
different stages, different comedians.
Yeah. It's a lot of them too. Like even maybe some lesser known ones that have done just some great stuff. I don't say lesser known as a demeaning.
No, they
term.
just don't. Yeah, they just don't have the
But
following.
but like like I don't know if you ever been to South Point in Vegas. You been to the hotel, the South Point? It's off, just slightly down off the
No.
strip. So they have a comedy show called The Dirty at 12:30. It's a free show. It's dope.
Is it at 12:30 a.m. or p.m.?
AM. Yeah. And Gabe Lopez, had the pleasure of meeting him a couple times. He hosts it. Hilarious comedian in his own right. You remember Ralphie May?
I do remember Ralphie May.
Hilarious, right? He used to do it out there. They were all friends too.
Yeah.
That's another comedian, by the way, that it was just every time I watched him, he was just hilarious.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a connection too, because he was also friends with these guys. But there's these two brothers, Corey and Chad. Oh my God, dude, they go in on people, man. Like it's
A lot of crowd work.
it's one of the most hilarious sets, and I've seen them a few times. I've even seen them at the Ontario Improv. My boy had his bachelor party out there in Vegas one year, and we went, and somebody in the homie group, we tipped off the comics, and so the whole show, every comic that went up there roasted my boy,
No shit.
roasted him, the homie CJ. roasted him. I mean, and then when Corey and Chad got up there, man, like they just went in like, ah, man, I can't even tell. I got video footage I got to show you, but oh my god, we were nonstop laughing the whole night, and the place was packed. I mean, it was like standing room only. There was no room for nothing. People was outside of that bar area, like looking in, trying to watch.
Right.
But I'm not kidding. Like it was like nobody did a set. Everybody just roasted
Just went in on him, huh?
for getting married, basically, right? They just roasted him. It was probably one of the funniest shows I ever did. And so every time we go to Vegas, we try to make a trip to see the Dirty Show just because
Yeah.
it's just that hilarious. And it's not always a roast. It's just a very vulgar show,
That's dope.
but it's a lot of roasting going on. But like the fact that they went in like
Yeah.
I want to say there was about 5 or 6 acts that night, and every act was like,
All of
who the
them.
ones getting married? It's you? And the whole set, their whole time was just going in on them.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. But yeah, I love shows. I love going to just seeing the different styles of comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and circling back, like I said, Ralphie May, rest in peace, man. It sucks that dude's gone. That dude was hilarious.
I mean, I saw it coming.
It was just hilarious.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunate demise, I guess. But yeah, man. I mean, it's a lot of comics that are big that I still want to see. Like I said, Chappelle is definitely on the list. I'd love to see live. I've never seen Kevin Hart live.
Yeah, Kevin
So-
Hart live is hilarious. And we didn't see like his full on final show, I guess you want to call it that, or the final phase of his show.
Right.
It was in the early phases where he was like testing out
Testing
new
it out.
material.
For sure.
Yeah, and it was after. So this would have been, let's say, 2017. I want to say is when I went to go see him. So it was right after that whole bullshit with him stepping out on his girl and everything like that.
Got
his
it.
his apology tour, whatever he called. I can't remember the name of the tour,
Right.
but trying out the new material, coming out there, and it was just dope to see how he put everything together. How he spun it all, the accountability, the mess ups, made the jokes about it, like all of that stuff, poke fun at himself.
For sure.
Like, yeah, and I know Kevin Hart's not for everybody. Like a lot of people just think he's
100%.
over the top and extra and all this other stuff. But I mean, that's kind of what I like about him,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just like him as a comedian. And then even as an actor, like especially him with certain people. Him and The Rock are hilarious together.
Yeah.
Hilarious together.
Yeah.
Him and Ice Cube are hilarious together. Yeah.
He brings out the funny in people you don't expect sometimes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
him and The Rock, that relationship that they got, because movies aside, like their social media battles and the things that they do,
Right.
it's funny.
Yeah.
It's
Those two are
hilarious.
funny together. Even him and Bryan Cranston, when they
Yeah.
did that movie together, like seeing their dynamic, because Bryan Cranston is a pretty funny dude, surprisingly.
Oh no, for sure.
As many serious roles as he plays, it's unless you've seen him do something in that realm,
Yeah, yeah.
you really wouldn't even think that he'd be capable of that.
I remember a few years back being up at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, and I remember we just decided like the day before, like, hey, let's just go to the Laugh Factory. We wanted to see some comedy. So we all went out and we're sitting there and some good comics up there. I don't remember them all. It was it was more of there was no headliners. It was just kind of a open mic type of thing, sort of.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was like a Thursday or Friday. I can't even remember. But there was no headliners. There was no marquee players. But it was a funny show. But then in walks Bob Saget, and Laugh Factory does Laugh Factory, right? So they're gonna give him the mic.
Right.
And so we're sitting there like, oh, and he was like, sometimes I stop in, he gets up there and he went in and it was hilarious. I mean, and he's a lot raunchier than people tend
Think
to know.
of. Yeah.
You think of Danny Tanner, you know what I'm saying?
Right. The
That-
fact that he even played that role is
Right.
That's
That dude
like
went
George
in.
Carlin playing, a lovable grandfather or something.
Right. No, but he went in and not only did he go up there and just be funny, he was getting on people in the audience. He was talking about people who stood up to, they might have just been going to the bathroom and say, oh my God. Like,
Yeah, just went in on him.
Bob Saget was hilarious. So, I mean, it's always fun to see those sleeper shows where
Yeah.
you just,
He's definitely underrated. I don't think he didn't get the accolades that he should have gotten for his comedy.
yeah.
He flew under the radar. People that knew.
Well, I think between doing Full House and having that persona, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
You create, even though he's acting, that's not him. That's Danny Tanner.
Right.
That's not Bob Saget. But you create that, it's almost being typecast, right?
100%. Yeah.
And then he turns around and he's doing America's Funniest Home Videos, and he's still that wholesome host.
Right.
He's that wholesome guy.
Yeah.
So you get used to him for all these years being this wholesome guy.
And
that
then you see him doing stand up.
people don't want to accept that he's not that wholesome guy. I mean, and it's not that he's not a wholesome guy. It's just that his comedy wasn't that. It wasn't that like, golly gee willikers.
Right.
Oh, let me clean off this counter.
Right.
I'm a neat freak. Like he's not Danny Tanner.
No, not at all.
That's why it was funny in Half Baked. He had one quick line where he stood up. And it's like,
right, right.
So.
You ever suck dick for coke?
That's Half Baked, man. See, Chappelle.
Great movie, classic.
So, but
classic.
no, I mean, and I love seeing the up and comers. I love seeing the stars. I'm a big comedy fan. I mean, one of the homies. I mean, you went with me to one of his shows. One of the homies, P-Man.
P-Man, yeah,
puts on a great show. I mean, he's been doing it out of Diego. So, we gotta have him in one day.
Yeah, we need to link up with P-Man. That'll be dope.
That's just another hilarious dude. He actually cameoed in one of my music videos as well. So that was dope. I met him actually shooting a different video.
Yeah.
And just became cool ever since. But yeah, that's.
You remember which video?
The video that I met him on?
No, that he cameoed in.
Crispy. Yeah, we shot on the Altadena golf course out here, and unfortunately, I mean, I don't know what the status is at Altadena because the fires was right around that area. So,
yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, we shot there. I remember it was a brisk Monday morning and afternoon, I should say. We started in the morning, ended in the late afternoon.
Right.
But Mondays they're quietest day. It was easier to get the proper permissions and everything.
Yeah.
So we went out there, and yeah, it was.
What? No guerrilla filming? You actually have permits?
It was a good time.
You white people know how to do shit, right?
So.
Oh, look, the hole's open. Let's go shoot real quick.
Right. So yeah, no, that was good times, man. We was just acting a fool. I mean,
that's dope.
There's a lot of footage from that didn't make the video. That's just hilarious. But yeah, no, I met him shooting. West Coast Pop Lockers did a video, and he had a cameo in that. So that's where I initially met him at.
That's what's up.
But yeah, just been cool ever since. And
shout out to P-Man.
He's been the comedian opener for some of the shows that we used to do and all kinds of stuff, man. He's a good dude overall.
Yeah, solid dude.
So, but yeah, man, I mean, but circling back to Fluffy at SoFi and Joe Coy, man, that's a hell of an accomplishment, man. I hope they do sell it out. I don't think it's going to be a problem, really.
Not between the two of them.
I mean, I almost want to say that a single one of them could potentially sell that out, but both of them together,
or at least close to it. Yeah, both together though, because each of them have their own separate following.
Yeah,
it's not like
So
it's not like it's the same people that like both. I mean, the same people do like both, but
yeah,
I feel like they each have their own.
It's gonna be an incredible show.
Yeah,
I might have to see.
That'll be dope.
What the tickets look like, price wise and whatnot. If I go, I don't want to sit all the way at the top. So
that's the hard part. Everything is there's so much stuff I wanted to do. I want to see. I want to go. Like I wanted to hit the Wu-Tang. I mean, the fact that Wu-Tang and Run the Jewels was going to be on the same ticket,
right?
And then I seen how much the tickets actually were.
It's insane.
I was like, yeah.
It was selling out quick too. So
yeah, it did. All the good seats. Well, on both sides. The good seats, meaning the ones on the floor and the ones up top,
right,
were gone quick.
The like one event that I've always wanted to go to, I've never been to, is like a WrestleMania, like a big wrestling event.
Yeah,
just wanted to go. I used to be big into wrestling. I'm kind of out of touch now, but I've always wanted to go just for the ambiance, the vibe. But the other side of that is I need to sit low because I see people posting when they're up in those high seat. You can't even see the ring, let alone the people. You're just watching the TV.
I could do that at home.
It's like I'm not paying that price to sit. Like you said, I can sit at home and do that.
But I mean, the only difference, and I used to be that way. Like I'd rather just sit at home and watch games, events, inaugurations. Like I had the opportunity to go to Obama's inauguration the first time he got elected.
No, it's an experience though.
I'm in Virginia, so it's literally a 20-mile trip from where I was to where.
And that's pure history, so that's one thing.
And I wanted to go, but I knew the streets were going to be crazy, and it's like I'm not trying to deal with that.
Right.
Traffic on a regular getting in and out of DC is already
For sure.
crazy. So to do it during the inauguration, I was like, nope, I'll sit. And I get a better view anyway. Plus, it was like, I'm like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. But then, like you
That's
said,
history.
it's the experience,
Yeah.
to be a part of that, to say that you were actually there when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's memories that you can't replace.
100%.
Yeah. But I'm to a point now, and I think, just because I'm older, it's like I'm more about not just seeing it, but like experiencing it
Yeah.
when I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm the same way when it comes to like insane crowds or waiting.
Yeah.
I'm to the point now where I'm just impatient. Before I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna roll, whatever, whatever. Now I'm just impatient. I'm like, man, I don't feel like sitting in this line, this traffic, this,
Right.
and I start thinking, no, never mind.
And I think the drinking, the lack of drinking now also has a big effect on it too. Because when I'm drunk, I really don't care if I'm standing in line or
Right.
if I gotta wait, if the show's gonna be late. I don't just have another beer, have another drink. But now that I'm not drinking, I'm super aware of it. Like, why is he 45 minutes late?
The show said it was gonna start at 7:30. It's already 7:45.
No chill whatsoever.
Doesn't he know I have to get to bed?
Right? Like no chill.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Impatience. But
Yeah, big crowds don't do it for me anymore. And I think the drinking helped with the big crowds. Now it's like, I don't know, my anxiety peaks or something. Like I used to be
I can't hear the word anxiety anymore because it just goes right to the song. Like it's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
You gonna do the little dance now?
I know. Like,
but now now that I'm thinking about it, like with me drinking, the first thing I would do was go to the bar, grab a drink, and then make my way all the way to the front.
right.
And then, enjoy myself. Now without the drink, it's like, yeah, I don't want to be in that crowd.
Can somebody turn these speakers down?
It's not the speakers that I mind. It's just, everybody up there on you. Like, you're in my personal space. Like, back up. Get your hands out my pocket.
You're not even wearing a mask. COVID, man.
So yeah, I hang to the back now, like the old OGs.
Holding up the wall.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm the old dude in the club now, sipping on a cranberry juice.
Since you brought up clubs, let's just go right into the next topic. Too Short.
Too Short.
We've mentioned him a number of times.
What's my favorite word? Put it in the comments. But yeah, Too Short.
Too Short announced that this year 3 albums of his will be releasing. He's releasing 3 albums.
3 more? Is he gonna retire again after that?
He's not retiring. He's not gonna use the word retiring, but he's releasing 3 albums.
He hasn't learned has he learned his lesson? How many times has he retired?
Oh man.
Short Dog, album number 10.
Album number 47. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, bro's got a catalog, man.
Man, I think at this point, when it comes to Too Short, you can't even call it a catalog. He's got his own library.
Pretty much, because we're talking 40 years of
brick
music?
and mortar, like literally a building full of records.
Yeah,
So
it's got to be close to 40 years of music, because we're talking mid 80s or late 80s. So we'll say at minimum 35. He's been putting out music for 35 years.
yeah, it's been a lot. So
Yeah.
first, he's gonna have them in three volumes. Volume 1 is Freaky Tales 2.
Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing about that one. So it's gonna.
Yeah, I think that's out now.
He's trying to take it back to like the late 80s, early 90s type of vibe.
Yeah, he's doing this. He's doing Too Short, right?
Doing Too Short.
That's Too
Yeah,
Short,
yeah.
He's using his favorite word. Second one got my curiosity a little bit.
Okay. What's the second volume?
Second volume is going to be entirely produced by Lil Jon.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes Too Short, right? The Chappelle Too Short,
right?
That's the Chappelle and Lil Jon.
Huh?
Okay. What?
Classic.
But that'll take Too Short in a different direction. Because
crunk
beats with some hyphy.
Yeah, because the last time
similar movements.
The last time, at least that I can recall, that a Bay artist collabed with Lil Jon was E40.
E40.
My Ghetto Report Card.
Yep.
And that album went bananas. When I found out it was Lil Jon producing, like my jaw dropped because I didn't even think that E40 and Lil Jon would even it didn't even make any sense to me that they would work together.
And that's the reason why I'm interested in how this is gonna turn out, but I see it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that, like you said, where back then it was like, "What?" Now it's like, "Okay, let's see what this is gonna turn out to." Because now
Yeah.
it's like we've seen the Bay and the South mix, and it works.
Cause I mean, I almost want to say, and don't shoot me if I'm wrong, please, and correct me if I'm wrong. Like, but for me, for my listening experience, for my musical uh experience, I almost want to say like Little John started the hyphy movement. I feel like his beat. I don't feel like anybody was really hyphy before. And again, like this is just from my experience,
Right.
just from the stuff that I heard. I don't know what the underground scene was like in the Bay. Okay, I can say this. He brought it to the forefront. I'll say
Okay.
that. I don't know if he started the hyphy movement, but
Right.
I didn't really hear that type of music until my ghetto report card.
Right, until he was producing and
Everybody started doing those beats.
yeah.
Everybody had dreads. Everybody was hyphy. Everybody was going dumb. I didn't really hear about it before my ghetto report card. Not to say that it wasn't there,
Right.
but Little
I
John
mean
definitely pushed it to the front.
thinking about it, like, as you said, it's kinda aligning those timelines, and it seems pretty legit.
Because we're talking mid 2000s,
Yeah.
2003, 2004 ish, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I don't really see, because even E40 sound was different before that, you know?
It was.
Too Short sound was different before that. Like, but once they dropped my ghetto report card, once Lil Jon produced that, it seemed like that became the sound of the Bay,
Yeah.
from my perspective.
Yeah.
If you got a different one, like let me know. Put it in the
Go in the
comments.
comments,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let us know who was doing hyphy before Little John making those beats. But yeah, a Lil Jon and Too Short collab, like I see nothing but greatness coming from that.
That's gonna be it's gonna be some yeah, I think it's gonna be some heat.
So that's volume 2.
There is a third volume.
Volume 3.
Volume 3, he says, is gonna be his grown man, mature, you know,
Yeah.
responsible, Too Short.
And hearing him talking about it, he didn't seem like he was too happy about that one. It seemed like that was the footnote. Yeah, volume 3, it's the grown man, the stuff people expect to hear. And I'm like, man, like that's the one I want to hear the most. Like legit. That's literally the one I want to hear the
See
most.
Too Short turn a page.
Yeah.
Too
Too Short becomes too tall or something.
tall.
Like, what does he learn from all his years of pimping and pandering? You know?
It's gonna be crazy.
Hearing Too Short talk about some generational wealth. That'll be crazy.
Diversifying your portfolios.
Nah, all my hoes and the children of my hoes are all taken care of.
Gotta diversify the stable.
I can take care of 3 generation of hoes, like, yeah.
That's nuts.
That'll
But
be dope though. That'll be dope though. And initially when I first heard it, when I, hearing stories about him doing the 3 volumes, I thought right off the bat he was gonna do like E40 where it's like all coming out at the same time. Because there was a couple times where
right, E40 dropped like triple. I remember,
triple,
like,
quadruple
Yeah.
discs all at the same time,
It's a lot of music.
And it was crazy to see because with the 2 disc or a triple disc, you would see them in the same case. It would just be, all 3 of the case or all 2 or 3 of the discs in the same case. I can't remember the name of the sequence of the albums, but I remember he dropped 4 albums all at the same time, had the same cover art with different vibes or influences. Like he's got his hat, he's got his jacket, one he's on a street corner and
Right.
it's red. And then another one, it's in the middle of the night, he's sitting on the front of his car with a green hat and jacket, like same picture, different
Right.
elements type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So initially I thought it was gonna be like that, like he's just gonna drop them all at the same time. But to find out that he's
Spreading them out.
releasing them over time, I'm like, that's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Yep. So
Can't wait to check them out.
we got some new Too Short on the way.
Cannot wait to check those out.
Too Short, man, in high school,
I was gonna say, do you have a favorite Too Short song, or you know, like what's one of
I
the
don't, but
songs that come to mind when you think of Too Short?
I don't, but like I know whenever I hear somebody mention Too Short, it's the Too Short and the E40. It comes right to my head.
Yeah,
I mean, it just off the easy.
yeah,
I thought you need me. Yeah, I mean, saying
yeah.
that you got it all. Love
Players
the way you
Ball.
play his ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good
that's
one.
just
I mean,
classic.
Freaky Tales always comes up
Freaky
like that's just
Tales.
because that's just the classic Too Short song, you know.
Yeah, blow the whistle.
Blow the
I mean,
Whistle, that's a good one. Yeah, Too Short's been around, man. Bro's
what's
got a
my
lot of songs.
favorite word? I
Yeah,
mean, as you said, but I mean, no, Too Short has a hell of a catalog. I mean, and we talked about E40's catalog before too. I mean, we've talked about that
man.
already in the past. I mean, it's crazy how much music these Bay Area artists put out. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
And then even with that, you know,
nonstop.
the next generation of Bay Area artists are following their footsteps. If you're
Yeah,
familiar with La Russell,
right.
like
All over the place.
Bro's got music for days.
All over the place.
I can't even keep up with how much music that he's
I
putting
can't
out
scroll on TikTok or Instagram without
without seeing
something.
him.
You know,
Yeah.
he's with somebody. He's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Seeing him in the studio with Bus,
Yeah,
him doing music with
Snoop,
Richie Rich.
Richie Rich. Yeah,
That one of the things that I do appreciate about La Russell is him tapping in with the older generations and then doing that collab together. Him doing music with Mike Jones, him doing music with Juvenile. So he's basically he's into 3 different generations of music
yeah.
because, you know, Busta and them is
I
from our
appreciate
era.
I appreciate his enunciation. He don't mumble.
Yeah, very articulate, very
He's
well spoken. Yeah,
very.
great.
I mean, I'm not a, you know me. I'm not a big, huge mumble rap fan. So when I hear newer artists come out, that's generally what you get.
Yeah.
So I love it when I hear one come out and it's it's just good music. The writing is well done. I mean, La Russell's got some stuff, man.
I found out that I enjoy mumble rap when I'm drunk.
Because you sound the same.
Well, it's more understandable for some reason. I think because I'm drunk, my hearing has like softened or something. I'm not listening as hard to try to understand what they're saying. It just you just relax and let it go. You know?
I used to say that when mumble rap first kind of started coming out, I used to say, man, they rapping in cursive because it just sounds like it's all running together.
They can't even write in cursive.
But now I don't give them that credit. I'm more like they rapping in chicken scratch. They just scribble scrabble. It's scribble scrabble.
They rapping in baby talk. Yeah, I mean it's not too many. I was gonna say I'm not hearing too much mumble rap now, but
Yeah.
there's still some out there.
No,
But I am seeing
I love. I
reversion.
mean, there's certain artists. I mean, you mentioned La Russell, which again, like he's got some dope stuff. But like Coast Contra, I mean, I love listening to
Coast
like, their
Contra,
stuff.
yeah.
Like
I mean
it's just dope. It's creative.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a definite group of dope ass MCs.
talented
You know, like that's like the reincarnation of Wu-Tang type
to a certain extent. Yeah,
joint.
just
You know,
very.
and I'm not saying style wise. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like the lyrical content that each of them provide.
It's just that all of them have their own distinct style, but they
Yeah.
mesh really well.
Yeah,
So and it's just hella creative. No,
like
I dig it.
that's a hell of a squad.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of new rappers that I'm seeing coming out now who are leaning back more into the lyricism, getting away from the mumble rap, and you know what? Maybe it's probably a time for a shift in the genre anyway,
right.
because we go through phases. You know,
We
we've
need
had
it.
phases where late '80s it was like positive music. It was civil rights music. Fight the power, self destruction. All of that type of music, and then there was a shift, and we went to the raps, the gangster raps.
Gangster rap and
Like
all
that
that.
was a whole, and that gangster rap era was highly influential because it's still
Yeah,
in effect to this day.
and then it went to like the more mixture of the R&B
Well, then
and the getting jiggy with it because I think the narrative kind of changed.
the narrative changed after Pac and Biggie.
Pac and Biggie, yeah, it was so
Them getting killed really kind of put everybody back on their heels. Everybody took a step back,
it became fun again.
and I want to say, Diddy might have been the catalyst to initiate that shift with his song that he did with Faith Evans, "Missing You."
To a certain extent, yeah.
And not to say that was the first one, but like
Right,
that
right.
definitely helped healing, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I think from that point it got to you had a lot of the R&B and rap collaborations,
And then
they were very successful.
Yeah, and then it got more into like a party vibe.
Yeah.
So then we got into our party phase.
So,
and then, from there, because I mean, during that era, like that's when Nelly was coming out.
yeah, then you had those were like the more melodic rappers.
Yeah,
You had the slow rappers, like that's not a diss, but you had like the Cam'rons, the Maces that had that
Right.
slow rap.
yeah.
Early
Early 2000s joints.
Yeah. So
Franchise Boys, Clips
So-
was out at that time. Yeah, early 2000s rap was dope.
for sure.
And then you get to the middle 2000s, I'm gonna say, well, 2014, and I remember this specifically. Like I can remember the day specifically. 2014
I
is
had a
the
grilled
first
cheese
day.
sandwich on the table, and
No,
I was sitting there with a.
I was actually at a UPS picking up some car parts. They were delivering some stuff, and I was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna come there and pick it up." But I'm sitting there waiting because it was out on the truck. They missed my stop or whatever. Long story short, that day is the first day I heard Young Thug's Lifestyle. And I thought I was having a stroke. I was like, "Oh no, this is the song." Oh, okay. And the thing that I appreciated about it was the production. From that point on, I'll say from like, let's say 2014, I'll call it 2014 through 2020-ish.
Right.
5 or 6 years. I stopped paying attention to the lyrics
Just the beats.
and just paid attention to the beats. And then I
Kinda
had
had to.
that. Yeah, because like the beats were dope. Anything that Rich Gang was putting out, like the beats were fire.
Yeah.
I loved the beats. I couldn't care less about what they were saying over it. And I'm like, can I just get instrumentals of all of these,
They don't
please?
do that no more.
And then the difference was, at that time, I don't really feel like producers were putting themselves out there like that.
Right.
Because before that, and the times always shift, because during early 90s, late 90s, Timberland didn't have a producer tag.
No, you knew it was a Timberland
But you
beat.
knew a Timberland beat.
And the crazy part is not that his beats sounded the same. It's just that when there was a certain level of creativity or sound to it, you was like, this got to be some Timberland stuff.
Right.
Same thing for Neptunes.
Right. It was the same thing. They had a unique sound
Yeah.
that couldn't be emulated.
Jazzy Faye.
But Jazzy Faye did
But he
have
did
his
have a
tag,
tag.
because anytime
Jazzy
you heard,
Fizzle.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen.
oh, you knew it was going to be
Yeah.
a bop.
Yep. Trackmasters. They tagged theirs too,
yeah.
though. But they had some dope stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's definitely producers that were well known during that time. I feel like during the 2000s, it kind of fell off. We didn't really know who the producers were. We just knew they were making music.
And now, of course, you've got Mustard.
And now the producers are coming back. It's
Yeah.
like, look, we want to. They are almost as famous as the person rapping on the song
100%.
now.
100%.
Mustard being the perfect example.
Yeah.
The Alchemist. Like, you're hearing these names, and it's not just, oh yeah, Erykah Badu's putting out a new album. It's like, no, Erykah Badu and the Alchemist.
Yeah.
It's going right back to Missy and Timberland.
Yep.
It's dope.
It's that cycle.
I appreciate the evolution of music, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Like, every era, every phase plays a part. And
That's why
it goes in waves.
That's why when people talk about like, oh, what's your favorite producer? Da, 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 like, I guess it depends on my mood, because some days I'm like, with Dre. Other days I'm like Timberland. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, Teddy Riley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Pharrell.
It depends, yeah.
It just depends on my mood and what I'm thinking about at that time. But like, honestly, Timberland is definitely way at the top of the list. Just because so his creativity is one thing, right?
Right.
He's creative. He's got an ear, like, he's something special, right? But he's also innovative, because he creates sound from things that people don't expect on a beat.
Right.
Like
The Baby.
the Baby, but I'm talking about even going in there and like beatboxing and turning that into real sounds, and grabbing like a Pringles bottle and putting a marble in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
just weird things. Like, he'll just be like, oh, we can use this.
Yeah.
We're gonna shake a sugar packet for the shaker, and just coming up with just different noises and stuff that just turn into, and then people not knowing what that is because it's not identifiable when you hear the song.
Right.
And then when he does an interview and he says, "Oh yeah, that's this," and you go, "What?"
Like, how'd you even come
That
up with
shows the
that?
genius,
How'd you even come up with that?
right?
Oh yeah, that was the faucet in my bathroom. It was dripping at 2:00 in the morning, and I was like, oh, I need to record this.
Right, right.
Bloop,
It
you
was a
know.
cockroach on the drain, and it was hitting his back, and the sound it was making off his back was so. No,
Nah,
it's
for real.
it's
For
crazy.
real.
So it's
Like
it's
when he put that baby on the beat for
iconic,
Aaliyah's "Are You That Somebody?" Like
iconic.
nobody, I don't think anybody, everybody's mind was blown. I don't think there was anybody that heard that and was, well, either they didn't like it just because they thought it was weird, but I don't think anybody was unimpressed by it.
You know which one that got I know that got everybody back in the day, that and it was because of the noise. Genuine Pony.
Oh yeah, that
Right,
yeah,
right. Like when that came out, people loved it so much, but at the same time was just so intrigued
it was different.
because it was just you didn't hear nothing like that.
That Timbaland is a producer that, especially at that time, you could say was ahead of his time. Like his
100%,
sound was so futuristic.
100%. Yeah,
Like he was
in the late '90s, early 2000s, that dude was living in 2025.
right. Like we're just now catching up to where he
Yeah.
was back then.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so crazy.
he's looking back like, where y'all at?
Because you could play that music right now, and it's still
Oh, 100%,
it still holds weight. You know?
100%.
Yeah, I love me a good producer. Kanye doing what he did
100%.
on anything Rockefeller really
Yeah,
changed the game. You know, and it's crazy because it's not like he was the first person to sample older music. Diddy
No.
was doing it.
but it
A
was
lot of
it
Diddy
was the
stuff.
way he was doing
was the
it,
way he
and
did
it
it.
was the way he was combining it with the drums and the beat. And everything.
Yeah.
It was just the way he was doing it. It was just a little bit enough different that it was his.
Yeah,
It was identifiable. It was Kanye.
yeah. Like Kanye had a sound that you couldn't. I mean, and for him to put Jamie Foxx on as a singer,
Yeah,
because everybody knew he was a talented individual.
Yep.
Jamie Foxx is just a avant-garde of talent, you know? We've seen him act, we've seen him do his comedy, we've seen him do serious roles,
yeah.
we've seen him write, and then to see him,
And he's implemented in his stand-up specials. He's had stand-up specials where he's implemented singing.
yeah.
He's done little things on the piano. And things. So
Yeah.
he knew he had
Matter
it.
of
but-
fact, even Chance the Rapper sampled
Right.
the fuck you, you
Right.
know, like
So, but no,
Iconic.
I loved it when I first heard it. He said it a few times, but when Jamie Foxx tells the story about how he met Kanye in one of his parties, and dude was just there with the backpack and was like, "I got something for you," and then they went back there and they did, I want you with Marvin Gaye,
Luther Vandross,
and he didn't want to. He sang it a whole different way, and Kanye was like, "Don't do
don't
that."
do it like that.
I love the way Jamie Foxx tells the story, but
Yeah, he's a good storyteller too.
but yeah, and he didn't think that he left thinking like this is some bullshit, whatever. But he did it, but he left thinking
Yeah.
like, and then his boys hitting him up. This shit is everywhere.
Yeah, that was a collab. Kanye, Jamie Foxx, and Twista. Like that was a combination that didn't expect that from them.
Yeah, Twisters.
But the way they
Twista's
played that
dope,
off,
too.
Twista was dope. I wish is Twista doing new music?
Should be. I hope so. Twister needed to drop some new stuff.
I would be interested if he could take the same artist that he used to work with back in the day or from that same area. Because I saw Twista Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Do or Die, were they Chicago also?
Yep.
I would love to see, and this is just, me fanning out, because I love Do or Die. Pope Pimp,
Oh, pimp. Yeah.
man. Do you wanna ride?
In the backseat of a caddy.
And then that bass comes in.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was 7:00 p.m.
Dude.
Bruh.
that bass. That was one of the first when I had my speakers in my car.
Yeah.
That was one of the first CDs I threw in when I hooked up my speakers, just because of the bass on that track.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear that for block.
Do or Die was dope. I'd be interested to see if they were still doing music or still interested in putting out a music. Like if we can get them on a feature or something.
That'd
Like
be dope.
Twisted does a song with Do or Die. You remember Chris John,
Yeah.
Full of Smoke?
Yeah.
I didn't really like the rest of the album, but something about that one
That
song.
song,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the video for it. Yeah, super, super vibey.
So
But that would be dope to see some music from Twista and Do or Die together.
So Mobb Deep.
The infamous.
The infamous
It's the real.
hip hop.
Yeah.
I heard that there's some new Mobb Deep music coming soon too. So that's kind of an interesting thought.
That's dope. That'll be dope to see.
So,
But I mean, how?
I mean, there's recordings, I'm
True.
sure.
Okay. True.
So,
But I mean, that also, ironically, them bringing out new music comes 30 years after them dropping the infamous Mobb Deep.
that's 30 years?
That's been 30 years. That dropped
Damn.
April of 95.
Damn.
The infamous Mobb Deep dropped.
Damn.
So, you know,
Wow.
30 years later, like it's just so, I don't think anybody at that time from inside the genre, from inside the culture, because the outsiders never thought it was going to last this long.
Right.
There was always hate. It's a fad. It's garbage. It's noise. It's whatever. This thing is a worldwide phenomenon. Hip hop has taken over.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have artists that we learned about music from growing up still making music now,
Right.
like that's a blessing for me, because you know,
And we've talked about those iconic beats.
yeah,
I mean, they have a couple.
yeah,
Because Quiet Storm,
that's a timeless beat.
just
Timeless beat.
fire.
That song is always going to be a song, you know?
100%.
Always going to be. It's like there's always a certain song that never, no matter when you listen to it, it's they might as well, they could have just made it today.
Yeah.
It sounds just as good today as it did 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
And they had the remix with
Lil Kim.
Lil Kim on it.
The remix was fire.
But yeah, that beat, oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
So that's dope. That's dope to see. They
30
got new
years.
music coming out.
That's crazy.
We're getting old, man.
30 years.
You know what else came out 30 years ago this month? Friday soundtrack.
No, 30 years? 90.
Sounds 95.
Oh, the movie. Yeah, you know what? That's about right.
Oh, yeah. Throw
Damn.
your neighborhood in the air. Brought us classics such as Keep Your Heads Ringing.
Yeah.
Ring, ding, dong.
Ring.
Yeah,
ding.
man. That album was
Yeah.
great. What was the Two Live Crew joint on there? Big Booty Hoes, hump with it. Yeah, man.
You know, it's crazy. We were just talking about on one of the other shows about how soundtracks was just
Right.
something to get.
Right.
Because if you remember, I think it was next Friday that had Chin Check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so.
With the NWA when they used Snoop.
Yeah.
in it. So yeah, dude, like, man, I miss just strong soundtracks, man.
Soundtracks used to be, that was the like professional level mixtape, you know? 'Cause that's really what it was.
I don't know why it just came to my head, but do you remember the movie The Wash?
Yeah.
That soundtrack was
Soundtrack was
fire.
dope.
That was the one with Nocturnal too.
Nocturnal.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love me some Nocturnal.
Dude, like the soundtracks was dope, man. Like
I wonder what Nocturnal's up to now. Is he still doing music?
we need some new soundtracks for some of these movies.
Nocturnal.
What the Sinners soundtrack sound like?
I don't know, but I heard. I haven't even seen that movie. I gotta watch that movie.
See it. I want to see it.
I've heard so much about it. I don't know. I feel like it just popped up. I don't feel like I heard anything about it before opening weekend.
Right.
And then opening weekend came.
It didn't get the press I think it deserved, and I think now it's getting the social media attention that's propping it up now.
Yeah.
But I think the actual media attention it deserved wasn't there.
Because I haven't even seen the trailer for it yet. Like,
But-
I wanna go see that movie. I've heard the ratings, like Rotten Tomatoes, like the past 5 movies that Ryan Coogler has done have scored astronomically on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
So, you know,
he's
like,
got a streak.
shout out to him for being the genius that he is, you know,
He's got a streak.
for what he was able to do with Black Panther, because that became a fucking worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know, had everybody out here fucking Wakanda forever. And then you got
Right over left.
Did I do that right? Then you got Kendrick Lamar doing the soundtrack,
Yeah.
which I heard he wasn't even supposed to do the whole soundtrack. He was just supposed to do one song.
I was gonna say I heard they asked for a song and he was like, I got an album,
Right.
and he just
He came back with
here.
a whole
Yeah.
soundtrack. So that was dope to see, because you know that's another thing too. It's very rare. I say very rare, at least that I can remember, where like there's one artist or producer that does the
entirety.
whole soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because when you think about Friday, when you think about The Wash, when you think about all of those '90s movies, The Best Man's,
Yeah.
Have Plenty. Have Plenty was a great soundtrack.
That was another one. Yeah. Yeah. That was
Have
another
Plenty
one.
was a bomb soundtrack.
Yep.
Ooh,
You said
man,
Set It Off.
that gave me chills. Set It Off was a great
That was
soundtrack.
another one. So Above the Rim.
Waiting to Exhale.
Above the Rim was one of those too that like, I mean, that was a must buy the day it dropped. That was like
all of them.
Oh, it came out. It's coming out this Tuesday. Let me go to the store. Let me go to Best Buy and grab.
Boys in the Hood soundtrack.
Yeah.
The Juice soundtrack.
Juice.
Like
yep.
all of
Poetic
these.
Justice.
Yeah. Poetic Justice. Man, like you can't. They don't do soundtracks like that anymore. And
gang related.
Gang related. I get it too. You know, like we live in a different era of music now. Like it's literally at your fingertips.
100%.
If you've got iTunes, if you got Spotify, I mean, not even subscribing to those. You can just go on YouTube.
It's funny too. You saying this too, and I don't think I've ever gone on there and searched for a soundtrack. I mean, I have songs probably from soundtracks on my playlist.
Yeah,
but I don't think I've gone and searched for the soundtrack album itself. I think that's once we drop this call, I'm
go look for some
I'm
soundtracks.
go look for some soundtracks, man, because
Yeah.
I'm probably missing some stuff on my playlist just from soundtracks.
Yeah.
So
You remember? Oh, okay. Here's some off Main Street soundtracks. High School High.
High School High. No, yeah, the John Lovitz. Yeah. That one was dope.
Yeah,
That was dope.
that was a dope
Yeah,
soundtrack,
the
bro.
Substitute.
It's The Substitute.
So
The
and
World Is Mine. Was that The Substitute or was that 187? Where Ice Cube had The World Is Mine, you get back.
I think that I want to say it was a Substitute.
I think that was
can't
Substitute.
remember.
Yeah.
And of course you had the Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise.
Gangsta's Paradise.
That was on. I'm
Been spending
not.
most
Not.
of
I'm thinking
life.
Substitute again, but that's not Substitute. That's the other. She was a Substitute, but
That
it
was the Michelle Pfeiffer
Dangerous
one,
Minds.
right?
Dangerous Minds. Yeah, it took me a second.
Yeah.
She was a substitute, but it
Living
wasn't the
in a
substitute.
gangster's paradise. Yeah,
So, yeah,
I feel like
soundtracks was big.
I feel like that song put Coolio on.
Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah, Fantastic Voyage was a big one. That was
think
before. That was before, right?
Yeah, no, that 100%. Like, and then he was part of the Mad Circle.
There's just so many. Yeah,
He was Dub C in the Mad Circle, right?
Coolio was in the Mad Circle.
Yeah, it was Coolio.
That's crazy. I
Big
didn't know that.
G, I think,
I didn't
and
know
Crazy
that.
Tunes and Dub C.
I didn't know that. But then again, I didn't know. There are so many times where I listen to music now and I hear references to names who I had no idea
You
who
knew
they
they
were
were.
back then. And then I hear it now and I'm like,
Right.
oh shit, Cube just said Jinx.
Because right, yeah, Sir Jinx. Yeah,
I was like, oh, that was the okay.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't know
'cause-
Coolio was in
'cause-
there.
'cause-
Yeah. That's dope.
Because that was my first. Dub C in the Mad Circle was my first introduction to Crazy Tunes, and that's how I learned who Crazy Tunes was.
Yeah.
I knew of Coolio because he was in the group, but
Right.
then Coolio became Coolio with Fantastic Voyage,
Yeah.
and then I remember when Fantastic Voyage and that came out. That's when I realized that was the same person. That's when I connected those dots.
Connected the dots,
from the Mad Circle to Coolio.
Yeah. See, I didn't know who was in the Mad Circle. I didn't know who any of the groups were.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was in the
Curb
groups.
Serving.
Like I've only just as much as I listened to Cypress Hill,
Yeah.
I've only just really learned who all the members of Cypress Hill are. Because there's Be Real and then there's the other two. No disrespect.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
Yeah, man.
But
And
just back
and
then.
then Sendog, that's the homie Mellow Man Ace's brother.
Right. But just back then, it was like, oh yeah, that's because Be Real was the lead,
Right.
and then there was the other two. It wasn't like West Side Connection, where it was Ice Cube, Dub C,
But
Max
that group was formed from
individuals. Yeah.
Whereas as Cypress Hill was already a group.
Yeah. So it was the same thing with Dub C and the Mad Circle. It was Dub C, and then it was the Mad Circle.
Right.
So it was.
Yeah, that Curb Serving album was dope.
I loved it. I loved the curve. Dub C, man, that showed me a window into a life that I had never experienced before.
So his cadence on records, the way he raps, his cadence is unique.
yeah,
He's got a unique voice, but his like when he came out with not just clowning, we got thousands
still I'm banging these streets.
his cadence on
Yeah.
that, and then when he went into his verses, it was just
Yeah,
there was
it's the shadiest.
I'm not trying to make this a comparison, but it had the Nate Dogg effect where just his cadence became catchy. It didn't matter what he said at that point. He was
Yeah.
there. So, but yeah, Dub C had a sound.
Definitely had a unique sound.
So big fan. Big fan.
Love me
Met
some
him
Dub C.
numerous times, but he's a good dude. So
That's cool. That's cool. You actually met him, huh?
a couple of times. Yeah, we showed pictures on one of the episodes.
I got a terrible memory.
So yeah,
I drink a lot. Not so much anymore, but yeah, man. That's cool though.
I can't believe Friday, that soundtrack is 30 years. I can't believe Mobb Deep is 30 years.
Yeah. So 30 years and now they're, releasing last Friday.
Well, let's look back on this episode 30 years from now when we're on season 32.
Right. It'll be 60 something.
That's crazy, man.
That we
Wow.
did. Yeah. Long
Wow,
time
wow,
coming.
wee, wow.
Long
Wow,
time
wow, wee,
coming.
wow.
That's nice.
That's nice.
That's
I like.
nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, seems like we've reached it, and I'm hungry. So
Yeah. Let's go get something to eat.
let's grab that grub.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you on the next one.
It's always a pleasure having you guys join us. See you
Can
next
reach
time.
That.
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can You Reach That? Brought to you by Double One Entertainment in Coopersville. Hosted by Tango and Coop. And created and edited by Tim Greenlee and Brandon Adolphus. Music, sound design, and editing by Michael B. That's me. Visual art and graphic design by Jonathan Greenlee. Additional visual design by Timothy Greenlee.
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?